How many times after a client meeting have you sat down, trying to recall what was agreed, taking notes, only to find out in the end that you missed something or forgot something? For almost 2 years now, I haven't taken any notes. Zero. AI does everything for me, and it does it much better, and automatically at that. In this episode, I'll show you the tool that makes this possible, but more important than the tool itself is what comes from these notes, because recording is just the beginning. Let's look at the numbers. On average, a B2B meeting lasts 45 minutes. After the meeting, you open your notebook and try to reconstruct what was agreed. How long? Usually half the meeting time. Because of that, a 45-minute or hour-long call turns into an hour and a half. Now multiply that. If you have just 1 or 2 meetings a day, that's 5 to 10 a week. You're losing half a day every single week. Without this chore, you could finish work early on Friday around noon, but I know you wouldn't do that anyway. Instead, you can do more of the things that matter. Just to give you a point of reference. In our case, in the last month, we had 116 meetings, only with external clients. Over 86 hours of actual conversation. If we wanted notes for every one of those meetings, we'd need a part-time person, just for this one single task. But that's not even the real problem yet. The real problem is that after about 24 hours, we only remember 20% of a conversation. The rest vanishes, especially if we don't have any notes. At Jacob, we have regular workshops, recurring calls, and client meetings. And very often, I see the exact same pattern. The CEO doesn't know what the salesperson discussed, the salesperson doesn't remember what they talked about 3 weeks ago, development doesn't know what was agreed on the sales call, and the client has to repeat everything they've already said before. The worst part is that nobody treats the lack of such notes or forgetting about them as something that's wrong. Everyone just says, well, that's how it's always been. Meanwhile, it's just a hole in the system through which a lot of time, information, and ultimately money leaks out. We use a tool called Fireflies. We started using it because back then we needed a lot of integrations, and it happens to offer that besides very good and high quality recording and transcription. Now it's a standard part of our workflow. There are other tools like this on the market, very similar ones. Fathom, Otter, TLDV. I'm showing a table on the screen now comparing the main differences in features. Which one you choose is just a matter of your needs and preferences. The main thing is to simply have those transcriptions. Setting up an account is a breeze. You go to the website and select Get Started. You link your account with Google or Microsoft. The point is that it needs access to your calendar. Why? They've explained it here. Once you're logged in, go to Settings, choose which meetings you want the assistant to join, whether all of them or just specific ones, whether it should record video, whether it should transcribe in a specific language, or auto-detect the language. Connecting your calendar is essential for the assistant to be able to do this automatically. The less you focus on this task, the better. It just happens by itself in the background. One important thing. The bot joins the meeting at the scheduled time. If everyone is late and no one lets it in, it will simply disconnect after 5 minutes. And it won't join the meeting. Then you need to go to the panel we're currently in. On any screen, Capture Live Meeting is always visible. You click that, provide the link, optionally choose the language, and then click Start Capturing. The bot will join in a moment, usually within a minute, or even faster. This rarely happens, but it's worth knowing about. Now I'm showing you a sample screen of what a meeting looks like while it's being recorded. It's always visible. The Firefly is note taker, so it's completely transparent. You can see the bot has joined, no one is recorded secretly, which would be illegal anyway. I'll talk about how we communicate this to clients in a moment. Besides that, going into settings, there's a compliance notification tab. You can notify about the recording in advance. What the bot's message is that it simply informs all users of this particular fact after they have joined the meeting. Once the meeting has ended, you will receive an email that contains a detailed summary. This summary includes information about who the meeting was with, when it took place, some relevant statistics, and a comprehensive summary of the discussion. Of course, you will also find a link that takes you directly to the detailed notes for your reference. By going into the meeting details, whether you access them from the panel on your dashboard or by clicking the link in the email invitation, you will be able to see the full recording of the meeting. This means you can watch the entire meeting again at your convenience, download it as a written transcript, get a summarized version, download the full video file, or even just the audio recording if you prefer. On the right-hand side of the screen, as you can see here, we have the complete transcript displayed, and you have the option to click on any specific part of the transcript, which will immediately take you to that exact moment in the recording, making it easy to review or revisit important sections of the conversation and ask the AI assistant questions about this conversation. In the main panel, we have a summary. Communication serves as a notepad, helping to keep all the agreements, and finally action items, basically who committed to doing what and by when. Okay, how much does it cost? You can check it on the Fireflies pricing page. In short, the free plan is free. You can use it as much as you want, but of course there are limitations. A maximum of 800 minutes of recordings, and you can't record video or download transcripts as a file. It's good to start with, but in the long run, not so much. The Pro plan costs $10 if we choose the annual package. With monthly billing, it's $18. You can download transcripts, 8,000 minutes of recordings. It's more than enough. The business plan is $19 a month with annual billing, or $29 if you pay monthly. And here, basically everything is unlimited. There's also enterprise, of course, but you have to contact them. And that's a question I get often. Paweł, how can we record clients? The short answer is, you can, you just have to let them know. Besides, as I mentioned, Fireflies does it anyway. In our company, we have a simple script that we always say at the start of a meeting. Hello, as you can see, there's a tool here with us, Fireflies Note Taker. It's our automated system for recording and transcribing calls. It really helps us with note-taking, so we can fully focus on the conversation. Of course, if you don't agree, we'll remove it from our meeting. And that's it. In 2 years, someone had an issue with it, literally twice. Most people say either, okay, great, awesome, send us the notes. It doesn't surprise anyone. It's becoming a more and more standard practice. Of course, there's still the matter of data security. Fireflies claims that data is encrypted, no one reads it, and it's not used to train other models. You have full control over the recording and can delete it at any time. They have all the necessary certificates, of course, I'm showing them on the screen now. You can also sign a so-called DPA, or Data Processing Agreement. This is a personal data processing agreement required by GDPR when processed by a third party. By the way, if you're comparing tools on this, for example, TLDV goes a step further and keeps all data in Europe. Of course, an important note. Delete recordings, all of them, when you no longer need them. Don't record meetings that are under NDA or cover confidential topics. I won't pretend that everything always works perfectly because, like with everything, glitches happen. 2 years of using this tool taught me a few things you usually won't find in tutorials. The quality of the transcription is usually very good, but there are sometimes issues, for example with names, single words, or technical terms. In some cases, there were also situations where the entire transcription was just broken. Then we had to download the file, upload it manually again, and then the transcription was created correctly. This happened maybe 3 or 4 times over those 2 years. You also have to consider that summaries are generated automatically. Sometimes the context isn't captured well, sometimes the name is distorted. As always with AI, it's an aid, not something that replaces human action 100%. But it certainly makes things much easier and simpler. Additionally, Fireflies allows you to manage conversations as a team. In the Team tab, we can see our team. As the boss, you have access to all meetings, while individuals only see their own meetings. Here, my photo appears next to a meeting where I'm a participant, and here's the assistant. Besides, not every team member needs to have Fireflies. Often, it's enough if only team leaders have recording and the Fireflies bot joins every meeting that a person is invited to, who has the integration connected regardless of whether that person joins or not. This is also very helpful because I'm often not at certain meetings where I want to know the results, agreements, or summary. So then I'm simply invited to them, I don't join, and later I get a summary and either watch it at a faster speed or just review the key agreements. So to start, you don't have to buy Fireflies for the whole company. You can expand it gradually, and that's also a very good starting point. We're getting to the most important part. Recording meetings itself is great, but that's just the starting point, the floor from which we begin the interesting stuff. Because after, say, a month of recording, you have a large database of transcripts, and that gives you at least 3 interesting options. First, you have a full archive of agreements with the client. A client calls, asks about some agreements, no problem. You go into Fireflies, type in their first name, last name, or email, and find the conversation history. A new employee joins, or a new team takes over a client. You hand over the full set of transcripts or access to them so they can review them. Of course, downloaded transcripts can be processed, for example, in Notebook LM or another system that will extract the most important data from them. Second, the boss or director sees what normally escapes them. No sane person joins every meeting or even watches the recordings, if there are any. But a quick look at a meeting summary or creating an automation that summarizes the whole week of meetings and individual actions per client or per team makes it much easier to keep a finger on the pulse. You know if an employee was praised by a client because the collaboration is going very well, or you can catch moments when there was talk of a potential upsell which someone on the team might have theoretically missed. And here we come to the most advanced element, which is automation. The meeting ends, the client can receive a summary by email, and a customized one at that. Were there any agreements regarding specific actions? We can create tasks in your management system. Asana, ClickUp, Teamwork. AI can analyze the transcript for sentiment. Whether the client is satisfied, if any difficulties arose, if any opportunities appeared, or if any buying signals emerged. Then you can immediately send a quick alert to the sales department. At Jacob, we have several systems related to this, but I'll talk about that soon. For today, remember one thing. Start with recording. After a month, you'll see that it's a complete shift in the approach to collaboration. And in a while, I'll show more. If you have 2 or more meetings a week, then really start recording. Test the tool. This one or one of the others I'm showing on the screen now. Create a free account, connect your calendar, and test it. Write in the comments which tool and why you use it for taking notes, or if you still write them by hand. I'm just curious. And if you want to see what else can be done with transcriptions, I invite you to the next episodes. Automatic follow-up, task creation, sentiment analysis. There will be really interesting things. Thanks for your attention. See you. Bye.